Hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. This is going to be focused on the lower back. That being said, if you have any serious spinal injuries, make sure you're cleared by your doctor and practice with caution. We're going to start today lying down on our backs, so take a moment to get comfortable. Now, because this is a practice for the lower back, instead of straightening the legs like a normal shavasana, keep your feet planted, allow the knees to drop in towards each other. Place one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart. Close your eyes and let yourself just slow down, acknowledging that you're doing something really good for your body by being here today. And just so you have an idea of what to expect in this practice, we're going to focus on two things. The first actually being strengthening the muscles that need to be stronger to maintain proper posture so that you experience less strain on the back. And the second is relieving tension and improving range of motion in the spine to help alleviate any discomfort that you might be feeling currently. And as always in yoga, we want to use the breath as a guide to train the body to let go and release tension and create trust in these shapes. So take one more deep breath here. And then we'll start with a little bit of stabilization. So you can replant the feet a little bit closer to the hips and separate the knees so they line up over top of the heels. Reach down with your fingertips. Make sure you can just tickle the backs of the heels. And then take your hands, make a diamond shape, index fingers and thumbs connect, and place it on the lower belly, just below the belly button. Imagine you have a marble in the middle of this diamond shape, and as we inhale, we're going to arch the back and roll the marble towards the index fingers, and then exhale, tuck the tail, roll the marble towards the thumbs. We'll go back and forth a few times. Inhale to arch, keep the tailbone down, but feel the lower back lift, and then exhale, really draw the navel in towards the spine as you roll the marble to the thumbs. Go for two more with your breath, and this is just helping us to find the flexibility of the spine today, kind of experiencing both extremes, so a big arching and a big rounding. Finish off this last one, so pressing the lower back down, and now take that imaginary marble, roll it right into the middle of the diamond shape. Notice how the hips are level. There's a little gap between the lower back and the floor, but you're not overarching through the spine, so the rib cage is in a neutral position. Now it's important to maintain this position of the spine as we come into our next movement. Find a Supta Baddha Konasana, so soles of the feet together, knees open out to the sides. Make sure the core is still stable, so not overarching the back. Pull the front ribs down, keep that neutral spine position, and then reach your fingertips up towards the sky. Hook your thumbs together, spread your fingers out wide so there's a little tension between the thumbs, and as you inhale without lifting the ribs, reach the fingertips back. Exhale, keep the neck long, reach the fingertips forward between the thighs. Back and forth a few times. Notice how my ribs are not moving at all. So even though the shoulders and the upper body are moving, the core is still super engaged. And this is helping us to turn on the transverse abdominis, which is super involved in keeping our spine stable. So moving really consciously with the inhale to reach the fingertips back. Exhale, make sure the back of the head stays heavy down on the mat, reaching forward. Last one, inhale, reach back, keep the spine neutral, and exhale, we'll start to reach the fingertips forward and come out by taking your hands to the outsides of the knees and close the legs up. Now same idea, finding that neutral spine, pick up your right foot from the floor in a tabletop and left hand comes across to the right knee. Extend your left leg up towards the sky, reach the right fingertips up and flex your left foot, and then inhale for a dead bug. So bring the lifted arm and leg down to hover. Exhale to bring them back in towards the center. Moving really slowly and consciously so that again you can focus on keeping the spine neutral. So that slight gap between the lower back and the floor, and make sure you're not rocking side to side as you repeat a few more repetitions. We want to be precise without being rigid, so that's where the breath is really important, making sure to breathe through the movement to train the body to be calm during this exercise. Finish off this last one, bringing everything back up. Bend your left knee, lower your left foot down to the floor, and we'll set up for the other side. Reestablish your neutral spine, lift up your left foot into tabletop, and then right hand will hold on to the left knee. Extend your right foot up, flex, and reach up with the left fingertips. Inhale to lower them down without overarching, and exhale to bring them back up. Do your best to keep the arm and the leg straight that are moving. Imagine you're moving right from the hip joint and right from the shoulder joint. 3 more with the breath, really feeling those deep core muscles work. So this awareness is really important for helping to create strength so the spine is better supported. And this kind of strength and awareness that we build in practice will transfer off the mat and hopefully mean less lower back pain for you. Let's release, drop the right foot down, followed by the left. Plant the feet firmly hip width apart. Put the hands on the floor beside your hips, palms face down, little tuck of the chin to the chest. And as you exhale, press down through the soles of the feet to lift the hips high for a bridge. We're going to add on by coming up onto the heels, lifting the toes. So the feet are flexed, toes still face towards the front. Imagine you are trying to slide your heels in underneath the body so that you really engage through the hamstrings and the glutes. This action of turning on those muscles is really going to help to stabilize the lumbar spine, the lower part of the spine. Keep your rib cage to pelvis connection. So same thing, that neutral spine, even though the hips are lifted, no overarching of the back. On your next exhale, lower the toes down, lower the hips down. Take the feet a little bit wider to the borders of the mat. Cactus the arms to the sides, and let your knees flop right to left a couple of times, keeping both shoulder blades grounded so you get this rotation through the lower back, maybe a little bit of a stretch through the side bodies. The next time the knees travel over towards the right, we're going to roll onto the right side of the body, place the left hand in front of you, and press yourself up. Come into a tabletop position on all fours, and we'll do a couple rounds of cat-cow. Make sure you start with the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees, and the fingers spread wide. As you inhale, drop the belly down, curl the tailbone up, pull the heart forward, and gaze towards the front of your mat. Exhale, round through the spine, press down through the hands to spread the shoulder blades and tuck your chin into the chest. Inhale, belly down, opening the heart, pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. And exhale to point the tailbone down like a dog tucking its tail between its legs and tucking the chin to the chest. Back and forth a few times. This is such a therapeutic movement just to open up and improve the range of motion in the spine. Focus on moving and breathing slowly as you finish off one more round. And then come back to a neutral spine position. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, and press the hips back and up into downward facing dog. You can find a little feel-good movement in the lower body, bending one knee in towards the chest and then the other. This is a really good time to check back in with the breath, perhaps finding stillness as you reach the hips high, reach the heels down, and settle back into a smooth and natural breath. And then step your feet to the borders of the mat, keeping the toes facing forward rather than turning out, and walk the hands back towards the feet. You'll more than likely need to bend the knees a little bit as you arrive. Keep the hips lifted, but let the upper body hang heavy as you grab onto opposite elbows and ragdoll sway side to side. I like to imagine the upper body is heavy like a bag of sand and it's just slumping down towards the floor, really helping to lengthen the spine and relieve pressure from the lower back. Drop your fingertips to the floor as you turn the toes out and sink the hips down as far as you can go into your malasana, your garland pose. Hands come together, Anjali Mudra at heart center, and allow the tailbone to sink down, but the crown of the head to lift. So this is another one where I like to use my imagination a little bit and imagine there's a wall behind me that I'm leaning back towards slightly. And this action of dropping the hips down more creates even more length and traction through the lower back, which can be really healing. Now, if you'd prefer to come back up to stand and then transition to a seat, you can do so, or take your hands behind you one at a time and lower yourself down to sit on your bum. Scoot forward a little bit if you need to, like I do, and extend the legs in front of you. Keep the left leg long, bend your right knee and cross the right ankle just above the left knee with the foot flexed. You can take the hands behind you, and if you have some more space, plant your left foot on the floor. Now, the closer that you slide the left heel in towards the glutes, the more intense this will be for the right hip. Either way, press the heart forward, make sure not to lean back, and you can find a soothing rock side to side if that suits your practice. This next one can be a little bit intense, so just be mindful of your limit, but can be a really nice relief for the lower back. So we're going to rock the legs all the way over to the left, sole of the right foot to the floor, and then use the right hand to press the right knee towards the top of the mat as you look back over the left shoulder. Hold your gaze steady as you take one more deep breath, gently applying pressure through the right hand. And then we'll return through center, rolling back onto both sits bones and straightening out the left leg. Lengthen out your right leg as well. Take a moment to reset, give the legs a little bit of a shake or a windshield wiper, and then we'll reposition for the other side. Left ankle crosses above the right knee. Use your hands for support, keeping the chest open, and you may or may not place your right foot on the floor. Continue to squeeze the heart forward towards the shins and maybe take a little rock side to side. Not only is this good for the lower back, but nice for the glutes as well. If you're taking that twisted variation with me, drop your legs all the way over to the right so the sole of the left foot finds the earth. Use your left hand to press the left knee towards the top of the mat, turning the chest towards the side and gazing back over the right shoulder. Take a few deep breaths. Mindfully release the twist if you took it. Come back through center, and we'll uncross the left leg so both feet are on the floor. You can hug the knees in towards the chest as you roll all the way down onto your back, gently laying the back of the head on the floor. As you give the knees a little bit of a squeeze in towards the chest, think about lengthening the spine by pressing your tailbone, imprinting it down into the mat. If you'd like, you can take happy baby pose, grabbing onto the outside edges of the feet, and same idea, try not to let the butt lift too much. We want to lengthen the tailbone down to create as much space as we can through the spine. Hang out here for a moment, perhaps adding a gentle sway side to side and allowing the breath to grow slower and deeper with every inhale and every exhale. When you're ready to take it into your final Shavasana, release your grip on the feet. If it feels better in the lower back now, you can straighten out the legs. Otherwise, take the same variation for lying down as we took in the beginning, with the knees bent and the feet planted on the floor. You can rest your arms by your sides and close your eyes down. Remember, my friends, healing from pain and injury is a journey, not a sprint. It's about showing up for yourself every day with patience and consistency. So if this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and save it, and revisit anytime you need a little lower back liberation. I will end the video here, but hang out in your Shavasana a little bit longer if you have the time, and I'll see you next week in our next video. Thank you so much. Namaste.